Hi everyone, this is Mary Ann and welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, which I have linked down below, I have talked about my attempt at digital planning and how it did not work for me, as well as a couple of theories on why it failed for me. And at the end of that video, I mentioned that I will share with you on the next video what I have been using since then. Here now is that video. I went back to paper planning using the Elias paper loose sheets in A4 size that I purchased from Everything Calligraphy. I will link their store down below in the description box. I simply cut the A4 down to A5 and then printed the pages on the A5 sheets. But in this version, as you can see, I have simplified it, super simplified it, and it's now just a one page per day system without the boxes and the tracking and the icons and all the other things that you always saw on my planner pages. I did not even include the hypertext. The only thing I kept the same was the grid on the pages and the paper size. I decided to stick with the personal size because it's my favorite size for planners. I placed the date at the top of the page and the week and the year and the month, and that is all. I did this because I was at the point in my life in which I felt like I was on the verge of a major change and I didn't know what it was, but I could feel it so strongly, and work in my new location was so different, and I could not do much still because of my right hand, which was broken. I will link the video down below. So I decided I might as well go back to the super duper basics, what Corey the reset girl would call resetting your life. So my planner had to also be reset. By the way, hello to Corey the reset girl. I listen to your videos a lot before I go to sleep. So anyway, in the cutting, I am using this Fiskars rotary paper trimmer that you must have seen me use so many times. It's still working so well and I love it so, especially now that my right hand is injured. It really makes it easy for me because I don't have to bear down on the cutter. This is something that I never thought about when I purchased the trimmer, but now that I am disabled in my right hand, I appreciate it so much. As you can see, I'm using my right hand to operate it and there is no problem. So if you have problems with your hands, like a hand that is healing from an injury or arthritis or joint pains or just plain lack of strength in your hands, I highly recommend this trimmer. I have an unboxing and review of this also on my channel, and of course I will link it down below. Now, I did mention that I stuck to personal size, which is 95 millimeters wide by 171 millimeters tall, but I actually made it 10 millimeters wider because I wanted to make the inside margins wider by 10 millimeters. I hope you can notice the very fine vertical line that marks the 95 millimeter point from the edge of the paper. The reason for this is because I was not going to use one of my regular binders for this. To make the whole thing slimmer and easier to carry and use with my one good hand and my other half good hand, I wanted it to be coil bound, and I will show you that in this video. After all of the pages were cut, I cut the covers, which was just this old glittery green paper that I found here at home, and a sheet of PVC to make the cover stiffer and stronger. Now here you can see me using my old hole puncher for my double loop wire binding system that I showed you before. I have a video of this which I will link down below. It has been with me for over a decade now and it's still working so well, and it's one of the best paper related investments I have ever made. I had to use my left hand this time though, because this hole puncher needs me to bear down on the cutting wheel. It was a little bit of a struggle because I'm right-handed, but I took my time and I wasn't in a hurry. Now you can see that even after the hole punching, the inside margins are really so wide. The purpose of this is so that when I'm done with this particular planner, I can remove the coil and then use those fine lines I printed to cut the paper further down into standard personal sized sheets, exactly 95 millimeters wide hole punch them with the Franklin Covey hole punch, and then place them into my archives just like you always see me do. Here are the coils that I have. I have black ones made of plastic. They also come in white and a not very nice green color, but I didn't buy them. Now these coils are removable and reusable, which is why I decided to use them for this planner instead of the double loop wire that I used to use and which you have seen me use before. Just to show you, here I am removing the coil because I actually forgot to add some plastic pockets to the back of the binder, which I wasn't really sure I would need, but I put them in there anyway. So my digital planner ended on the second week of April. There was a 3-week period in which I used no planner. Yes, that's right, me without a planner for 3 weeks. So this planner reset is dated starting on May 1, 2019, but I actually started using it on May 8 because I made this probably on May 5 or 6. And this planner worked for me for a few months. I recorded Joe White's daily blood sugar, which he would message me every morning. And starting May 8, I already was able to use a vehicle for myself because I think it was May 9, I already was able to use a vehicle for myself because as a person with disability, it was quite dangerous for me to take public transportation because our jeepneys and tricycles are definitely not PWD friendly. You have to hang in there for dear life while getting on and off, and I was so afraid of getting another injury. I also recorded the odometer readings and gasoline on here. It's a fairly new vehicle. I bought it secondhand and paid cash for it, and it's very fuel efficient, but I was able to make that conclusion only after I have recorded the odometer readings for about 3 months. So I liked this planner. It was simple, it was easy to carry, it was very kind to my injured hand, and I used only 2 fountain pens with it, 2 Pilot Metropolitans, one with black ink and another with green ink. My usual, it's Heart of Darkness and J.R. Bond Lure Savage. But then I found it too cumbersome and quite of a hassle to keep switching pens and capping and capping them every time, so I switched to just 1 fountain pen with a black ink. But I also found it too fidgety, so I ended up with a tiny little Pilot Birdie ballpoint pen that I reviewed on my channel, which I will also link down below. But this planner lasted only until about the end of July. I mean, my use of this planner lasted only until the end of July because I got sick, a chronic illness, and had to take an extended sick leave from work. I was seeing doctors, I was getting tests, and it's actually depression. The depression was triggered by something bad that was done to me at work systematically by more than one person, but I I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it here because I already filed the proper papers with the higher authorities governing my employer. So in this planner, the August and September pages are pretty much empty. I have gone without a planner since then. Would you believe? Since the start of August, I have had no planner. I didn't use a planner. But starting December, I have migrated to the anti-planner, which I really, really love. It's so different from anything that I have ever used before, you guys. And that will be in my next video, so I hope you watch for it. Please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can catch that video as soon as it's up. I am going to prepare, I'm actually preparing what I hope will be a really enjoyable video for you, showing the contents of the anti-planner and how I use it, and having some real talk with you guys, not just about planners and about life. So watch for that video, please. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.